One. We are live, Rhea.
Hello, hello.
How are you?
Oh, I am just great. I am certainly, you cannot say I'm not awake.
Well, what does that mean exactly?
Oh, that means I've just been I started out in New York early this morning, and then I took a train to DC, drove out to Virginia, drove back into DC, drove back out to Virginia. So now I'm in my hotel room.
Lots of back and
Yay.
forth. And look who's here. Safa.
Hello, Sapphire.
It's like our time together with Safa every week. I love it. I love it. I love it.
I do too.
Yeah. So today was a really nice day, right?
Today was a
Well, it
very
was
nice.
nice here. Safa, what's the weather where you are? Because Safa is Safa in Canada? No. Rhea?
Yes,
Where is she in Canada?
I think so.
Safa, where are you tuning in from? She said it's getting chilly. Oh, yes, she is in Canada. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, great. Good. Yay. Yeah, it's starting to turn here a little bit too, but it's feeling pretty good.
Yeah, well, here it is 82
Oh, it's 82, so it's
and
definitely
humid
warmer.
and
It's
humid.
and humid, huh?
Yeah, no complaints though. I I am very happy with the weather. But yeah, I notice in New York it's it's bittersweet. It's like I'm a little happy to see fall coming, but I'm sad to see summer leave.
Yeah,
And
I know.
I enjoy the summer. Okay, it's hot. It can be uncomfortable, but
Yeah,
I
I love
enjoy
summer
it.
too.
Hmm.
So Donna Cowan's on, author Donna Cowan's on.
Hello.
Yeah. So, all right, Rhea. So, what's our topic tonight?
I during the week, and I think people have heard us talk about how we get to subjects sometimes, and how we get to subjects really
Mm.
just before we get ready to go live. But earlier this week, or actually the end of last week, I think I was just reading some some articles and some things that people were saying, and I just realized that we need to talk about self confidence and building self confidence. And there are
Mhm.
many, many, many ways to build self confidence. There's not one. It's not like you take a pill and then all of a sudden you're more self confident. But there are. But it's a very personal thing, and it's a very individual thing. And you find out what works for you. So certainly, Laura, and I know you will talk about what works for you. I can talk about what works for me. But let's just deal with the first thing. I and I don't know if the right thing to say is everyone has issues with self confidence. I don't know that, but I know that there are times that I do. And I know that there have been things that I have not done because I wasn't confident in a certain area for whatever reason. And I say whatever reason because sometimes that reason at some point seemed to be valid enough to keep me from doing
Mm,
what I thought I wanted to do.
mm.
So so it's working through. It's work. It is more work. It's working through all of that. And like I said, it's not just a matter of I take a pill or jump up and down 2 or 3 times. Although there is some benefit to me through things like dancing, and getting more energy into my body,
Yeah.
walking
Hmm.
and walking meditations. And
So can
so
I ask you a question though about that,
sure,
Rhea? Okay.
yes,
So you said that there have been things that you may not have done because you didn't feel you had the confidence to do them,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So let me ask you this. When you didn't do them, did you feel like, well, I won't do it because I don't have the confidence to do it? Or was it more like, more clever? Like, what was your subconscious mind not thinking you don't have the confidence, but more like saying things like, you can't do that. Why would you do that anyway?
Oh, I think determining whether I do or don't have confidence is very after the fact.
Right.
Being able to label that, but it still ends up being a self-limiting belief
Mhm.
or some kind of rationalization or that voice, that, oh, I'm turning as if I'm saying crazy. I don't mean that, but just that voice that's in your head that tells you you can't,
Right.
you can't for whatever reason. It's you make up stuff. You're not tall enough. You're not small enough. You're not light enough. Your hair is not straight. I mean, it could be a whole. You're not smart enough. It can be a
Right.
whole. It can be a litany of things, and then on the back end, I realized that it was a confidence issue. I
Right.
didn't
After.
believe I was enough.
Hmm.
That's it. I didn't believe I was enough of whatever I needed to be to do what I wanted to do, and that is it's too bad. I mean, and that can be anything. It
Right.
can be uh, being confident enough to leave the house. There are people who struggle with that. I can remember not feeling confident enough to go out and eat a meal by myself or go to the movies by
Hmm.
myself. And I mean, and I think the group has heard me talk about I travel a lot, so it would be a shame not to be able to go and enjoy a nice meal, or think that I could only do that if someone else happened to be with me.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
so yeah, certainly. I like the distinction that you made. It's not that you go into it and saying, "Oh, I don't feel confident."
Right.
Well, yeah. Oh,
Right. We say, we make excuses for it. Like just this
yes,
past weekend, we belong to this golf club. I married to a golfer, so
yes.
um, there was a dinner thing there, and it was very interesting because Chris would say, "Oh, well, just get up there at this time, and I'll meet you up there when we're done." And I said, "Well, what time will you be done?" Well, I don't know. I said, all right, well, then I'm not going to come when it starts because you won't be done. And I don't know if I want to be up there, with
Alone.
with a lot of women that I
Yeah,
don't really know,
yeah.
waiting for their husbands. I don't know them, you know, and
Hmm.
and in my mind, what I'm thinking of is, I mean, a lot of them are, that we're not into the same things. Let's put it
Yes.
that way.
Oh
Not a
yeah,
lot
yeah,
of
yeah.
common interests, right?
Hmm.
But the truth was, I was lacking the confidence in that moment to go
Hmm.
up there and sit at a table by myself, listening to the music, having a glass of wine with nobody sitting there with me.
I hear you.
Right. But I didn't say, oh, I don't have the confidence to do it. I was making up all these other reasons why I didn't
Hmm.
want to do it.
Yep.
Um, and for me, that's always like one of my things because I love people. I come alive around people, even when there's a tough time, even like when there's a crisis time, I still like being around people, even when you don't know what to say and there really is nothing to say. So for me to sit at a table alone is a big deal for me.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. But again, it's not going to show up in, oh, you need to like boost your confidence. It's going to show up in excuses
Hmm.
because that's pretty much what we do. So how do we build confidence? Because the truth is, it's too late to build the confidence when I needed it,
Yeah.
right? Like the day I had to go up there was too late for me to get confident.
Well, one of the things I think of is You got to push through. You have to push through. It's there's a limiting belief happening there,
Mhm.
and you've got to push past those limiting beliefs. They're only as strong as you let them be. So for me, I can remember asking myself why there was a proposal that I wanted to release,
Mhm.
and I wasn't releasing it, and I couldn't understand what it was
Mhm.
that was keeping me from putting it out there. Was it, I was asking myself, so are you afraid if you put it out there that you're not going to be able to deliver as you're proposing? Or, and no, it was that I didn't feel confident in my knowledge of the subject matter, and I was, and this is all that kind of examination that you do when you're pulling it apart. It's like, so what is that voice saying to me? What is that voice saying to me? It's saying, don't do it. Why? Why not? And so, I didn't feel confident in my knowledge of the subject matter, and I was afraid that if I put something out there and got questions, that I wasn't going to be able to respond
Mhm.
in the way that I should. So, okay, that's a very valid thing. That's a very valid, and it's quite reasonable, and it's
But
reasonable.
that might have been reasonable. I just want like, but it's not always reasonable. Like sometimes we we question what we know, even when we know a lot.
That's
So
true.
when will we have enough knowledge? When will we feel confident and comfortable, fielding the questions? Because I feel like that's always a thing for so many people. Like, I don't know enough yet,
Yeah,
you know?
but I have, for me, and I understand exactly what you're saying, exactly what you're saying. And even after reading and studying, and still that, okay, am I ready? Am I ready? But there are points where I do have to stop and ask, so what is this real? Because that is, to me, that is a reasonable thing. If you don't know, don't put something out there, but you have to
Hmm.
examine it. You
Hmm.
really have to pull that back and
Right,
examine it. So,
right.
what am I saying to myself? Well, I have spent X number of hours studying this material. I've written about it. I've journaled about it. I've talked to other people about it. The mere fact. So what are the questions that I think someone would ask me that I wouldn't be able to answer? Let's
Exactly.
let's see,
Right.
what are those. So it becomes a bit more preparation for me in,
Yeah.
in that way, and that is okay. That is okay.
Yeah.
What's not okay is me saying, just throwing my hands up and saying, well, I don't know. I'm not ready. I'm just not ready.
Right.
And so I've had to face that as an
Yeah.
example too. And then I think about one of our leaders, someone that we know, and I won't forget this story about how she sat at home and knew that she needed to get out and go to this event, and she knew that it would be good for her business,
Hmm.
and but she had those things like, oh, people are going to judge you, people are going to think, and your weight is an issue, this is an issue, you
Hmm.
don't feel like you're going to look great in these clothes, you don't feel, you're really just not going to feel great, uh, people aren't going to take you seriously, blah 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 blah. And I remember her saying that so she finally did get dressed, and she's like, oh, okay, so I had something that fit and I was fine, but all
Hmm.
right, but still was the little doubtful. And she said when she got to the venue, she drove around and she said, look, God, if I don't find a parking place, that means I should go home.
In the front, I think she said, right? If I
Yeah,
don't find a parking space in the front, yeah,
that means I should go home.
right.
And guess what? She found a parking
Yeah.
space.
We bargain. We
Oh
bargain
my
sometimes
God.
just to get out of it. But one of the things that helped me to build confidence, and I mean, believe me, I still have more confidence to build, but
Hmm.
was trying something different and doing it, like getting out of my comfort zone and doing something, even though there may have been a little doubt. And I've done a lot of things like that. I
Hmm.
have to say, and I know I shared on here once when I spoke to a whole room full of superintendents, and just before I was going on to speak, the person said to me, "Now you're Dr. Campbell, right?" Just before I was going up. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, no, I'm not. Did
No,
you
I'm
think I
not.
was? Are they going to believe me? Am I credible? Did they think I was like, this was literally within minutes before I was stepping up on a stage.
Wow.
So that has to be the time where you say, you know what? I have something that can help them, that can add value to
Hmm.
people.
Hmm.
So when you're talking about something, even if you don't know all the answers, but you know that there's something that you can add, do it anyway.
Yes.
Because guaranteed you have something that they haven't heard, or maybe they haven't heard it from your perspective,
Oh, yes.
right? So building confidence means stepping out of the comfort zone and doing it anyway. And then when you're done and you leave, you have built confidence in that moment.
Well, and also, isn't it also valuable to understand that when you step out of that comfort, because they call it comfort for a reason, because it's comfortable. And then when you step out of it, it's uncomfortable. But understanding that when you step out of that comfort zone, you're going to be uncomfortable.
Yeah. But do you
And,
know,
and that's
Rhea,
it.
and do you know, I read not long ago, and I'm trying to remember where the study was from, but I read a study on anxiety. This was so interesting to me
Hmm.
because it said that people fear the unknown more than they fear something that they know won't go well.
Right,
So, like, even if you know something won't go well, or the
right.
chances are it won't go well, you fear uncertainty, which is really a 50-50 chance whether it's going to go well,
Hmm.
more
Hmm.
than what you know won't go well.
Yes. And that's because in our minds, we build that up to something. We whip it into a frenzy and turn it into something. But it is it's accepting the that discomfort that's going to come, accepting it and pushing through it.
Okay.
Pushing past your limiting beliefs. If you need to establish a mantra, where you're able to say to yourself, no, I am enough. I am enough. I talk about me doing that, walking down the hall and
Mhm.
going into a meeting, and as I took each step saying, I am enough, I am enough. Because I had so many days when I made that same walk and I didn't feel confident when I got to that threshold.
Yeah.
So and it made a difference. It may sound silly to some, but you know what? It may sound silly, but I dare you to try it. I
Yeah.
dare you to try
Yeah.
it.
Don't deny it till you try it.
That's exactly right.
No, but it's what you say to yourself is so important. So we have some comments. So let's see.
Yes.
Oh, Barbara's here from New Jersey. Hey, Barbara. Good to see you.
Hello.
So Saf has got a few comments here. Um, so she says, I was reading the Leader Shift last night. There's a story that John tells when he was going to deliver a speech in the early times. He
Hmm.
saw a famous speaker in the waiting room, and he said to him, I feel that I'm not qualified to speak here. The famous speaker said, You're right. Speak afraid. Be willing to do it afraid, and eventually you will become qualified. Such a great story. Action reduces fear and increases courage.
Hmm.
Oh, Safa, thank you for sharing that.
Hmm.
That is exactly it. You think when I walked up there, I didn't feel afraid? I needed to grab every ounce of courage. I needed to keep saying to myself, but they don't know what you know. They're really smart. They've got doctorates. They've got all these degrees and letters, but you know something different. And there's value in it. Like I had to keep saying that. I keep saying that. But so it's true. How do you get qualified if you don't do it afraid the first time?
That's right.
Right. So, and then Safa says, for me, everything in my life that I did while I was scared ended up being the best thing I've done.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Wow.
That
See,
is
and
wonderful.
that's the feeling that I was talking about before. Like when you're done, when you do something out of your comfort zone, whether it goes, swimmingly or just goes okay,
Hmm.
you leave there and you just built confidence.
Oh, you do. The energy that just moves through your body, the way you this just surges through your body, the way
Right,
you feel when it's done.
right.
It's wonderful, and it is, and children get that too. I mean, you see children do something that they didn't think they could do, and they're so proud of themselves. And I mean,
Yes.
I can tell you about my little niece. Okay, I won't mention her name because she's now, almost 18. But I just remember she was so excited to tell me that she went poo poo in the potty. And that was just such a wonderful thing for her. And I remember that as a lesson of the energy in
Yeah.
accomplishments.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
Yes.
wonderful. Thank you, Safa.
So, if you wait for the time to come that you feel 100% confident to go step on a stage or, introduce a big proposal, if you wait for that day, you'll be waiting for a really, really long
That's
time,
right.
maybe forever. Because, like you said, Rhea, there's no pill to take. There's nothing that happens. You can't, snap your fingers. It doesn't just happen. We create confidence. We create it.
And there will be, because we are people of faith, and there will be some who say, well, my faith is based on God and what I've learned, and my confidence is in Jesus. But it's the action that's so important, because we also learn that faith without acts is dead. So
Mhm.
you've got to, even though you may have that faith, you still got to step out there on that faith and take that action.
Right,
That's what creates that energy. And
right.
that's what generates that life in you. So yes, yes, yes.
And going even back to the Bible days, right? When Moses, I mean, here's a bush that's burning, but it's not really burning, but the fire's everywhere. And Moses was chosen for some, and he just was like, no, no, you don't mean me. You can't mean me. I can't do that. So we question all the time our abilities.
Hmm. Well, and he had good reason to question. Moses had a speech impediment.
Yes, he did. But
Is
but
and
here was
but
God saying, no, I mean you.
I can still use you.
Right.
Despite what we think are our limitations, that does not mean we are not enough. That does not mean we're disqualified from service. That doesn't mean that people aren't. Sometimes it is. I heard a minister say this: from your mess, you get your message,
Mhm.
that people need to hear. So don't ever think that you're not enough. Or spend time. Oh my goodness, where's my journal? It's in another part of the room. But
It's not right there.
spend time in your journal.
Mhm.
No, it's back in my little
Mhm.
briefcase back here. But spend time in your journal. And spend a little time highlighting or recognizing what it is that's happening, and that it is a confidence issue.
Yeah.
And then spend the rest of the time just blasting the heck out of that lack of confidence, and pulling in great things that you know about yourself, and
And just
great
do
things that
little.
you've done.
You could just do little things.
Little
You
things.
don't have to
That's
like
right.
step on a stage if you're, but
Mm-mm.
just do little things. It could be anything. It could be as simple as a little thing like, I don't know, if you always go to Starbucks and get the same thing, get something different. Like just start doing things a little bit differently.
That's right.
So Safa is on fire tonight, man. She says, and the best thing is the feeling afterwards, that sense of accomplishment. We create it and we learn from it. We grow, and even if we fall, the obstacle is always the way.
That's right. That's right.
And she says, Rhea, I remember you yesterday while I was journaling.
I'm telling you, I'm going to get a journal endorsement out of this.
Yes.
I believe so
Yeah.
strongly
Yeah.
in it. And and people will think, what can you get from just writing notes? Oh, it's
Oh,
so much more.
but see that's the thing. And I know, again, don't deny it till you try it,
That's
because
right.
people think that's what you're doing. People that
Hmm.
don't know better, they think you're just taking notes.
Hmm.
No, it is so much more than taking. You're not taking notes, first of all. You're taking thoughts and you're putting them on
On
paper,
the paper. That's right.
and you're making them real. And as you write them, your mind is it's making note of it. And
Yes.
then you grow from what you write. Like what you see written, then you think of what comes next and what
Hmm.
comes next. And then your story can grow on the paper
Yes.
because you're giving it an outlet. You're giving it the space to grow.
And you,
Sometimes in our minds, we have an idea,
yeah,
but we're not giving the idea the space to grow, because in 5 minutes, something else happens. And then the idea is not relevant anymore because now something else is
I
happening
agree.
and
Yes.
we're distracted. But when we write it down,
We
we're
give it
giving it,
power.
yes, yes, and space to grow.
Yes.
And when you journal and then you stop, oh, you miss it so much.
Yeah. But you can always pick it up again.
Yes.
It's a wonderful, wonderful tool. And, and most of us, I would think all of us have access to pen and paper. And even if you just spend 5 minutes, try it,
Yeah.
start it. And how do I feel today? Really? Start there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just start. I mean, last night I had a friend of mine who is a coach, Yvette, and
Hmm.
she had a ticket to Marie Forleo, and she
Yay.
invited me to go, and it was spectacular. But we got her book, her new book. Everything is figure outable,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
that's all she kept saying, reiterating through her whole event was just start. You
Yes.
are good enough. You're more than good enough.
Yes.
Just start, because you have to start. And John Maxwell says it too. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great.
That's exactly right. And we keep waiting to be perfect to start.
There is no see
I
that
know.
that's an excuse, and I don't mean to call anybody out on this perfection. I like things to be perfect. There is no such thing as
Yeah,
perfect. It is an illusion. It never happens,
that's
but it's a
right.
really clever excuse.
But we wait around for perfection to show up. And you know what? It just doesn't. It never, ever. Perfection does not know where you live.
It's not real.
We now, and that doesn't mean that you can't have things orderly. But if your standard is perfection, absolute perfection, and you won't try things until things are perfect, that's a limiting belief.
And
Is what
it's
that would
not
be.
real.
It's not.
Perfection, what define it for me? There's no defining
Yeah.
perfection. And so in our minds, we might never get there. And
Mm-hmm.
so don't let that put you off, because
Mm-hmm.
it's not even measurable. When we talk about goals, we talk about measurable goals. Perfection is not, it's not measurable.
No. No.
So Sapa says the other day, I used it while I was in the middle of a meeting. I noticed that I was seeking perfection. I
Mm-hmm.
paused and wrote it down. My perspective shifted. Thank
Yep.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. Well. This topic of self confidence, it too is figure outable. We believe very strongly that everything is. Yeah, I've been saying that for years because of Marie Forleo,
Yeah.
and so I am grateful for her.
let me just tell you, she can dance like you can't imagine.
Oh, she used to be a video dancer.
And I knew that about her, but I
Yeah,
guess I didn't expect her to be like as good as she was.
yeah. So good. I'm glad you had a great time. That
She
that
was
was a great
amazing.
event. That was the kickoff event for her book tour.
Yeah.
And so that one was called the New York Experience,
And it
and no
was.
other city is going to have it exactly like that. So you were really blessed to be there. That's
I
great.
know. I know. It's so
Oh,
wonderful to have friends and Yvette and I, we were so excited about it. Like, you can't always share personal growth, excitement with everyone because not
hmm,
everyone gets excited about it like we do.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But she did. She does. And so we were just,
Oh,
it
that's
was
good.
it was so much fun. But her message was the whole time, don't wait.
Hmm.
Don't listen to the voices. Don't, you know, don't even pay attention. Go for your dream.
Go for it.
Just go for it. She said, and actually what she said was, she said, in 100 years or less than that, we're all going to be dead. So what are you waiting for? And I'll tell you, when she said that, it really, I was like, ooh, I don't know if I heard it put that way. Yeah,
but still the message is the same. Go for it.
go for it.
Don't be frozen by the negative self-talk, but
Right. And
we
confidence is not
that's right.
something that you can build when you need it, right?
Yeah.
So start building it. Start building confidence before you need the confidence. That's the
Hmm.
key with confidence.
Hmm. And people wonder about the relationship between success and confidence, and you need you need confidence to be successful. You do need that. So go for it. The time has come
Yes.
for
Yes.
us to run,
Yes.
and but it's another great Tuesday because I get to spend it with Laura, and I get to spend it with all of you.
I know, me too. It's so much fun. But I have a challenge for everybody. So
Hmm.
write on this page, make a comment about what you're going to do that's different, what you're going to do that maybe you didn't do before. Just a little way of building the confidence to do something different, right? Because that's how we learn to do it, is stepping out of the comfort zone, doing something different. So make a comment on what you're going to do that you haven't done before, even if it's a little thing. It could be a little thing. It could be just
Yes.
experimenting, with something new, eating something new, making something new, wearing
Hmm.
something
Hmm.
that wearing red if you don't wear red. Just do something that you don't ordinarily do. Okay, let's put that challenge out there.
We want to hear from you.
Yeah, and I'll do it too. I don't know what I'll
Yes.
do yet, but I'm always doing something that I don't normally do. All right, love you, Rhea.
All right. Love you too. All right, everyone. Thank you. Thank you so much, Safa, for all of your comments. That's
Yes,
wonderful. Thank you, everyone who's joined us live and joined us in the replay. We want you to live a ridiculously amazing life, and you can start that by having a ridiculously amazing week.
yes,
So get
absolutely.
out there.
Yes. All right, until next time, make it great.
All
Bye.
right. Bye.